Pittsburgh Pirates lose another Paul Skenes start, and at this point, it's kind of becoming a collective effort between the two sides, or between Paul Skenes and the defense. I mean, Skenes gives up 8 runs, 7 earned over 4 innings. He had some moments. He had some moments to where like he looked good, but it's still the stuff is too hittable, and the fastball velocity was down to average 96.3, which is down from his yearly average of 97, which is down from his previous year's average of 90. I think it's like 98.5. Um, so it just continues to trend downwards. He had two fastballs that clocked in at 93 miles an hour, and I think, I mean, well, I guess the All Star break can't come soon enough, for Skenes, for the Pirates. Give him a little bit of a rest, reset, and maybe kind of come back and get things going. Like I said, Skenes was far from perfect, but he didn't have help back there behind him. The defense making a couple rough plays. Tyler Callahan kind of reached in for a ball that landed right in front of him, missed it, rolled to the wall, allowed a couple runners to score. Nick Gonzalez tries to throw home, throws it right at the back of the guy trying to run home, and Henry Davis doesn't really help out by, he just kind of stands right there in front of the plate, instead of kind of giving an angle that Gonzalez can maybe kind of aim for. So all around, just ugly. They did kind of mount a comeback, if you want to call it that, and they made it close. But ultimately, it's another loss. They're under 500 again, and they need a win on Thursday for a series split after taking the first game. And they're going to have Jared Jones on the mound, and Jones has been far from consistent at this point, and now you're kind of looking at Braxton Ashcraft is the one guy that you can kind of really count on. I mean, Bubba's kind of taken some strides, which is encouraging to see, but yeah, just another rough outing, and we'll see how we'll see what they do from here. I think something needs to happen. Some sort of domino needs to fall here. Whether it's making some sort of drastic roster shift, making a move with like the coaching staff. It doesn't seem that things are running smoothly since bringing in Bill Murphy. Something, anything. I don't. You kind of get the vibes that the Pirates are kind of gonna reevaluate where they're at at the All Star break, making this like final stretch very important. That things start to kind of take a step back, and they're struggling to stay in games, and this kind of go. Maybe they're less reluctant to make a push to make some moves, because at this point, like you're talking about having to make multiple moves to bring in bullpen help. You're talking about making probably a move to bring in a starting pitcher. You're talking about probably bringing in some sort of offensive help. Just maybe someone who can hit left-handed pitching. They need. I mean, we saw what happened against Christopher Sanchez. I mean, that's an extreme outlier. He's one of the best lefties in baseball. But it's the list. The list is pretty long. The list is growing still on what they kind of need. If you want to say that this team, to get them to a point to where you feel pretty confident about them getting in the playoffs. Now maybe they get hot and everyone kind of gets rolling after the All-Star break. but it kind of looks like a scenario to where they're gonna need quite a bit of help, and you kind of then at that point ask, is it for a small market team that's not going to spend a lot of money? Is it going to be the best use of your assets long term? Like you're not getting you're like this circles back to like you don't expect Paul Skenes to put up a sub 2 ERA his entire career, but you have the ace of your staff not quite performing up to expectations. Like, is this really the year that you kind of push all your chips in and kind of make that move? We'll see. We'll see how it goes. They wrap up the series in Philly, and then they head to DC for 3 games over the 4th of July weekend. I thought about buying a ticket for the game on Sunday, but it kind of does a lot of rain and like I can only imagine traffic going up in that Northern Virginia area. It's just not gonna make it worth it. So I'm probably gonna hang at home and have to bootleg the game off of the internet somewhere because it's gonna get blacked out in the area. But heading down to the minor league side of things, AAA, they lose 4-2. Tamar Johnson went 1 for 2 led off the game with a home run. Got every bit of it into that one. It was impressive. I guess the important thing out of this is he did end up leaving the game with an injury. He fouled a ball off. It looked like it was either his ankle or his foot on the inside. Fouled it off his leg. Rolls around in pain. Finally gets up a little bit and he ends up leaving the game. So we'll kind of no update as far as of yet, but we'll see how we'll see if he misses the game on Thursday, or I can imagine they probably sit him just to be safe. Jack Brannigan was 1 for 3, hits his first home run in AAA. AA, they're in Portland this week. They lose 7-6. Kellen Moss goes 3 for 4 with a double and a stolen base. Jesus Castillo 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored and a walk. Titus Dimitru 2 for 5 with a home run and 3 RBIs. Matt King 2 for 3 with 3 RBI. And down in Greensboro, that was an interesting day because Murph Gray went 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts, and Carmichael didn't get a hit. So a lot of your big usual thumpers, they didn't do much, but they still scored 10 runs. And Sammy Staffer went 2 for 5 with 5 RBIs, a double and a home run. One of the other days, I kind of go into more in him because he's starting to become a little bit interesting again. For as bad as the start to the season was, he's kind of picked it up and he's really raking right now. Axiel Plaz 3 for 5 with a double and a home run. He's at 10 home runs now this season. Still just some of the easiest, most natural power in the entire organization. It doesn't look like he's swinging too hard. It doesn't look like he's and it just flies off his bat. Johnny Severino 3 for 4, 3 runs scored, 2 doubles. Bradenton, back-to-back nights now, they win on a walk-off hit. Tonight it was Richard Ramirez with the walk-off single. Eddie King Jr. goes 3 for 4 with an RBI and a walk. Braylon Brazoban 1 for 4 with a 2-run double and a walk. Jared Jones, the hitter, he's on rehab right now, played right field, 2 for 3 with a double and a walk. Hiker Garcia, 5 innings pitched, 2 hits, an earned run, a walk, and 8 strikeouts. Interesting guy. He was acquired from the Texas Rangers for Carter Baumler, the Rule 5 pick the Pirates took, and then immediately flipped to the Rangers. Was mostly a receiver last year, or reliever. Wrong sport. Was a reliever last year. Pirates have kind of slowly been stretching him out as a starter. Results have been mixed, as you can expect, but really came through with a big outing there. Missed a lot of bats with the fastball. It's like a fastball slider, short cutter slider, and changeup. Carlos Mateo pitched again. Made his second appearance with Bradenton. 2 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. And so stuff was nasty. Started down and up. By the end of it, he had two pitches, 2 or 3 pitches, 3 pitches that hit 102, a couple more that hit 101. Nasty fastball. Able to break a slider in with it. Get some misses with that. So kind of feels like he's got some stuff. He's got some stuff working there. Lost the control a little bit in the second inning. Kind of saw what the issue has been. Able to kind of dig in and get out of the inning with allowing just that 1 run. A very low A cliche or stereotypical like low A sequence there that ended the inning. It was ball 4 for a walk, but it got past the catcher, and which allowed a runner to score. And the second runner rounded third, started coming home, but it looked like he slipped and fell. And it looked at first that the catcher threw it to third as he was still getting ready to come home. So you thought maybe things were going to get crossed up, but they were able to get everything and get the tag out and get out of the inning there. So next thing I wanted to talk about, the Futures game roster was announced. That will take place on this Sunday before the All-Star games. I think the same day as the draft, or at least the first round of the draft, noon on Peacock. Pirates have two representatives, Seth Hernandez, Edward Florentino. Not too much of a surprise if you're picking 2 guys there. Probably going to be the 2 guys that are, top 50 prospects in all of baseball. Seth Hernandez reached 100 strikeouts before any other minor league pitcher. Check out the YouTube channel. I did a little video of the top pitching performances from this past month. Seth Hernandez, one of them. You can hear me talk about him and a couple other guys over there on the YouTube channel. Florentino. I mean, he's still considered one of the best prospects in the game. One of the better outfield prospects. Not having the bestest season. I struck out a couple times Wednesday night. Struggling a little bit, but there's still the talent's there, and it'll be fun to see him in this kind of surroundings, because with his swing and stuff like that, if he gets a hold of one, it'd be pretty fun to see in that kind of setting. A couple other notable names: Jesus Made. He's Leo DeVries, Jamie Arnold. A couple guys on the personal list. JoJo Parker. He was a guy that I really liked in the 2025 draft, as somebody that if Seth Hernandez had already been picked, I wouldn't have minded the Pirates taking him. Got off to a little bit of a slow start with Dunedin, but he's been hitting really well lately. Cam Caminiti, we saw pitch against the Braves, or pitch for the Rome Braves, the Rome Emperors, whatever they're called now. Good tall lefty, the Braves' first round pick a couple years ago. Ryan Sloan, I think between Sloan, Cade Anderson, who's also pitched in this game, and Seth Hernandez, you can kind of pick and choose who you like as the best pitching prospect in all of baseball. So it's good to see all 3 of them in the game. Hopefully all 3 pitch. Be nice to see that. And then Eli Wiltz, the first overall pick from the previous year, got to see him make his high A debut against Greensboro, and he ended up having a pretty good week. But that's going to do it for the show. As always, Pirates fan, or you just like prospects, head over to the Bucks on Deck Substack. Get daily content on the entire Pirates organization. Right now we're running through Friday. We're running a 30% off a yearly subscription deal. So go in, upgrade to a paid member, sign up for a year. You get 30% off. You get access to our scouting reports, player features, you get in-depth analysis. I kind of have something coming out later today, kind of going in depth on the international side of things with, like how Valdez and Antoine Kelly and Brandon Benoit, they're all kind of up in the major Woodward Hotel. They're all up in the majors, 40-man, kind of looking at the entire system and how things are kind of coming together on the international side. But you get access to that, video breakdowns. Also, I'm working on a video breakdown of like Mateo and Navarro. So check out the YouTube channel. Like I said, I did a video on some of the top pitching performances from the previous month. I'll have another one within the next day or so, probably going into the weekend, on some of the top hitters from the previous month. But subscribe, Bucks on Deck Substack. Check out the YouTube channel. Subscribe there. We're getting close to 500 subscribers, so that'd be the first nice little benchmark or milestone to get to. So go check that out, and we will catch you guys next time.